And good morning. You're watching Breakfast Television on City. It is 8:24. You're watching a game right here. This is called Semispheres, and a Calgary video game developer is behind this. And you play two sides of the game at once. Anyway, we're gonna explore what Semispheres happens to be. It's now available on the Nintendo Switch. Radu Murasan is the guy who created this. Did you code it and everything as well? You wrote it?
Yes, almost everything except for the audio. I had a Dutch composer do the sound effects and the music.
Okay, well, I want to talk about the audio in just a second, but first, tell us about Semispheres, because if you don't know the Nintendo Switch, there's two sides to the gaming controller.
Yes.
And so you need to use both sides at once in this?
Yes, so the Joy-Cons, the two things that are detachable from the consoles, each control a different character on the screen. But it's still primarily a puzzle game where you need to think about being in two worlds at the same time, and not a dexterity game where you really need to do two things at the same time. So
I see, okay.
Mostly focus on thinking and then executing rather than trying to do the two things at the same time.
Okay, and how did a guy living in the city of Calgary, where did you come up with this kind of concept? Was it just an idea that jumped into your head? Or?
Not really. So there's these events called game jams that happen all around the world, and they're typically around a theme. So back in August 2014, I took part in one of these game jams. We organized them locally as well, and the theme was Connected Worlds. And then I put that together with another game that I played before that had a similar control scheme where you control two brothers with the two thumbsticks on a controller, and just made them together. And that was the first version of the game that was made in 2 days. So game jams are typically a short period of time.
Short thing where you come up with an idea.
Just was very rough, but just like you're just exploring an idea.
An idea to see if it's actually worth going further with or not. If we can roll the video again, Tammy, that'd be great, of Semispheres. And tell us kind of, so you said there's two worlds at once. It's a left side, right side thing. And you see this little, is it a creature, an amoeba? What is this thing?
So the whole game is themed around the brain. So starting from the title of the game, Semispheres, a play on hemispheres, then the background's supposed to be a neural mesh. And the characters were initially the closest thing I can come to that resembled a neuron.
I see.
And they turned more like jellyfish, and then I stuck with that. It felt very fluid, so I was going for an organic feel, and it just felt like it fit the rest of the game.
And the music, you were talking about the composer who did this for you. The composer nailed it, right?
Yes, he's a very experienced guy. I lucked out that he saw my game somewhere, and I reached out, and he agreed to work on my game. He worked on some higher profile games and a lot of movies. He scored a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And his music, I think, makes it really easy to get immersed into the game, because it is a puzzle game, so it will tax your brain a bit as you go through the game. Yes.
And the music kind of drives your thought process. It's like step by step by step. It's really
just
neat,
keeps you chill and relax so you can focus on the puzzles.
Yeah. Okay, so Semispheres, it's out Nintendo Switch. That's where you can get it right now. Is it available on other platforms?
Yes, so it came out originally on PlayStation 4 back in February, and PC on Steam. And I recently announced it for the PlayStation Vita, which is a handheld portable device from Sony.
Okay. And the question I always like to ask is, what's next? I mean, you've done this now. Is there another game coming down?
Definitely. I have a few ideas for my next game, but I still want to finish out the rest of the platforms, including Xbox, and then probably early next year moving on to the next game.
Well, stay in touch. Let us know when you have another one coming out, because I want to get my hands on it and see if I can play with it a little bit. Nice to meet you, Radu.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming in.